So this Father's Day goes out to my first year without the man who helped to make me the woman that I am today. I just want to say thank you to my father, who is also my uncle, David. You are the best man that I've ever known. Happy Father's Day, and I will miss you very, very much.
Just want to say Happy Father's Day to my dad. I love you so much. Appreciate you for everything you do, and I hope you very much enjoy this holiday. You absolutely deserve it. I love you.
Happy Father's Day, Dad. Thank you for all of the valuable lessons.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is DJ the Money Coach. As you just heard our team, we want to thank our fathers for being great fathers. We want to give you what's called the 2x2 for Father's Day. So happy Father's Day, Dad. Hit that link, and I'll see you in the master class. Hey, what's happening, everybody? This is DJ and DJ. We're about to bring you the most expensive, best trip at the Walmart price you can ever imagine in Zanzibar. Ain't that right, D?
That's right, DJ. I am cordially inviting you to our Zanzibar trip. 8 days, 7 nights in the best destination of the world. And you can actually look that up. So we will be going to Zanzibar for 8 days and 7 nights. It is going to be amazing fun. We are going to have excursions. We're going to visit the properties. We are going to go to the beaches. We're going to eat some wonderful food. And we would like to invite you to join us on our trip beginning August 21st in Zanzibar, Tanzania. And it's 8 days and 7 nights. Hit the link below to join us now.
All right, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Nick's Knowledge and Notions NQ Science Series, brought to you by DJ the Money Coach and the 7 Spheres of Money. Thanks for joining us. And before we get started, go ahead and like the video, share, and subscribe to DJ the Money Coach on YouTube. Now let's go ahead and get the show started. DJ, what's going on? How you feeling on this Friday?
Man, we're excited, baby. It's a great time to be alive. It's Friday. It's Father's Day weekend. Man, it is time just to celebrate real men. That's right. Real men. So first and foremost, I can say shout out to my father. And man, I'm so excited that I was raised by a real black man. Right. Marine. Simple 5, baby. Simple 5. That's right. Get the job done right now. What we need in America are real men who stand on principle. So what better way to bring out today than to celebrate the real men? So I take my hat off to all them real men. And you know what the definition of a real man is? He has no fear of what they call that BS, masculine toxic, whatever the hell it's called. Because a real man stands on principle. So what does a real man do, Nick? He actually provides, protects, and pastors. And just for your edification, ladies and gentlemen, when you look in BK1, the only person that can be a pastor based on scripture is a man. The only person that can be an elder based on scripture is a man. Go read Ephesians 6. If you don't think I'm telling you the truth, I'm telling you the gospel according to the scriptures, BK1. It also is in the Quran. It's also in the Torah as well. So let's get it right, baby. Because without real men, we will crumble as a society. So what better way to bring in the Nick's Knowledge and Notion for Father's Day weekend? Shout out to our sponsors at Chase Bank. We're excited about that because they believe in the Constitution and the foundation of manhood. That's right. So there's nothing wrong with a man open up a door for a lady. There's nothing wrong with a man holding books for a lady. Because that's real. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with a man teaching his son how to become a man. That's real talk. And the first way you do is you teach your son how to work. You teach your son those 4 dirty little words. Number 1, discipline. Number 2, accountability. Number 3, plug into a system of success called manhood. And number 4, go to work. So we're excited about Father's Day. I'm a father of 4, and I couldn't be more excited. I have 2 boys, I have 2 girls, and you know what? Thank goodness God had boys first and then girls, so my sons are taught how to protect their sisters under that headship. So I firmly believe from a conservative capacity that, you know what, ladies, they should have, up to the neck and below the knees. Don't be sharing and showing your stuff to the public, because guess what? That's not what we need. So shout out to them real men. Shout out to all the people who served in the military. That just the other day was Flag Day. I mean, I don't know what's happening in today's environment, but we getting away from being Americans, baby. You know what? I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud to be a father of 4. I'm proud to be somebody who's counted on to be responsible. Somebody's counted on to be, there when times are hard. I take that as an honor and a privilege, and I don't take it lightly. So no better way than to kick off today and to kick off this weekend than to salute the real men in America. So shout out to all the dads. Shout out to all the grandfathers. Shout out to all the uncles. And shout out to all the brothers who are standing in the gap and being real men raised by real men. That's what Father's Day is about. And it should be a requirement that when these guys out here and athletes and entertainers, they should be shouting out to their dads. Nothing wrong with shouting out to your mom, but here's the reality. You ain't here if it wasn't for a dad. That's real talk. You know what I'm saying? So again, shout out to all the dads. Shout out to all the fathers. Make sure you give your dad something of value this weekend. And that could be just spending time with your dad. And Dad's Day should be 24/7, 365, no different than Mom's Day, because you shouldn't have to be prompted by society to actually honor your father. You should be doing that on regular, and you should be counting your lucky stars that you have a father in your life. And if your biological father is not the man that you need him to be, find somebody else that you can emulate and actually do that, and don't make that a reason for you to go left instead of going right. You know what I'm saying? So shout out. So what I'm going to do, with our awesome sponsors, Tolero, 100% black owned, 100% organic. That, yes, I'm actually a proprietor in the enterprise. So we're going to take a celebratory shout out drink to celebrate the fathers on Father's Day weekend. So while I'm doing that, Nick, I'll turn the mic back over to you.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, for sure, man. And you hit on several important things, man, in that opening. The first about the importance and the need for real men, and I say it's especially important now because like you said so many times on this platform that we're under attack, in this day and age, in this time. So it's especially important for us to highlight the real men and for the real men to step up and assert themselves, and let them know that we're still here and that hope isn't gone. So yeah, that's definitely important there. And also, same thing. I learned the same thing from my father and also my grandfather about how to work. Same thing. I'll fight anybody over whose dad is the hardest worker out there. I know DJ will fight for his too. but yeah, I haven't seen another man work as hard as my father. Work a regular job, and then in between those times, they'll go out and work a side hustle too, and he's talking about retirement soon, but I don't see him slowing down anytime soon. He might retire from his regular job so he doesn't have to deal with the BS anymore, but I don't see him stop working it anytime soon, you know. So that's another thing right there. And then what you mentioned about, you know, those of you out there whose father isn't being the father that they don't need them to be, or that they're not meeting that potential, that level that you would want them to. Yes, definitely. And also, even if your father does, I found that it's been very beneficial to have, you know, multiple father figures in your life. Even if you do have a present father who's the man that you need him to be, because I firmly believe in the village, and I grew up in the village, so I've had older men in the neighborhood, you know, neighbors that looked out for me, you know, when my father was around. When I went to school, I had teachers and coaches that looked out for me and took me under their wing. When I went to church, I had, you know, on those Sundays where my dad was working, you know, I had those, you know, older men, those, you know, older deacons, the pastors, the ministers, and just the men, the regular members of the church that were looking out for me. So I always had my father's friends. I mean, my friends' fathers too. You know, I was always around them also. So I was constantly around father figures. You know, even when my biological father wasn't there at that particular moment. I don't have any biological children, but I do have godchildren. I have 2 godchildren. I have a godson and a goddaughter. You know, so I fill the gap whenever I can with them as well. You know, so yep. And Ice, you can get that Tolero. The link should be in the description there. Ice wants to go ahead and get that Tolero. Yep. Click on the link in the description. Make sure you put in money. Make sure you put in money for that 10% discount. Matter of fact, we put that up on the screen for you.
Yeah, put that up there. That's right. So while you're doing that for Ice, what I want to do is commend your dad. That, see, a real man shows real examples. You know, it used to be the quiet, strong type. You know what I'm saying? So your dad showing that work ethic was priceless for you, Nick. And that's what we're getting away from nowadays, where real men aren't putting the work in. They're not physically going to work. They're not physically taking care of the responsibilities. But we are celebrating the ones that are doing that. And I want to just give a shout out to a few dads. So first, we'll start with, you know, Dale J. Duransburg Sr. Shout out to him and happy Father's Day. Then I'm going to go with Rodney Bradford. Shout out to him as well. Then I'm going to go with my grandfather who passed away a long time ago, Theodore, as well. I'm going to give a shout out to Dr. Melvin Hollowell, Dr. Sylvia Hollowell's dad, who's going to be celebrating Father's Day this weekend as well. I'm going to give a shout out to Roland Craig, Keith Squalls, Melvin Hobson, James Lane, Patrick Davis, Ronald Bonds, Chris Lane. I want to give a shout out to who else? Who else I want to give a shout out to? I want to give a shout out to Robert Bradford, who's my first cousin, and his children. He's doing a great job. I want to give a shout out to Eric Dargan, who's doing a phenomenal job as a man of God. I want to give a shout out to Joseph Calloway, who's been a great leader and a mentor to me over the past 25 years. So these are some people, like Nick said, that you can actually build around you. You know, I want to give a shout out to James Calhoun, who's my mom's husband of 35 years. I want to give a shout out to him as well, because those are important. I want to give a shout out to my mentor who passed away, Harold Davis. Give a shout out to his family and to Harold Davis Jr., and he's doing a great job as well. I want to give a shout out to Curtis Pearson, who is my #1 mentor, who's been an amazing father figure for me, you know, and these are important. So there was a point in time in my life when, you know, we were in the, you know, single aspect. Well, my mom was a single parent with us, but I still had men in the church. I had men in the congregation that actually mentored me. So You can't use an excuse. I'm sorry. There are no excuses. If you have your health, you can look out on the horizon and find great examples. I want to give a shout out to Reginald F. Lewis's family, who indirectly, I never met Reginald F. Lewis, but when I read his book and I started grafting his principles of success in my life about what real manhood is, he actually fathered me through his book. That's the fathership headship. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give a shout out to my pastor, Dr. Donald Rackett. I'm gonna give a shout out to Dr. Tony Evans, who's amazing, strength and an amazing beacon of hope and leadership in today's. I want to give a shout out to Dr. John C. Maxwell. So as you can hear me, ladies and gentlemen, the last three people that I mentioned, I have met once, but don't have relationships with them, but I met them through their books, their seminars, their master classes, and I allowed them to mentor me in my life. There's a tip. So having once upon a time lived in the hood for about 5-7 years, I did not use an excuse that I could go out and become a vandal, a thug, a gangster. That was just a poor excuse, because my mother had the ability to show me what real manhood looked like, and she did not, talk negatively about the man who was my father when he wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. Then he got his ducks in order, so that gave me a positive image. That's a tip for you, ladies. So I pursued those quality relationships, and then I grew into my own manhood. So again, if you are watching this program and you come from a single parent household and your dad's not, present, you can find people. If you can't find somebody, call us. 866-395-3042. 866-395-3042. And we'll provide you with some father leadership in your life if you're willing to be mentored. There's no reason for you to be using excuses and allowing society to allow you to not be a man instead of a male. Okay? So that's one of the great things that we do. Absolutely. Hey, shout out to you too as well, my friend James. And I actually spoke to your good friend Will the other day as well. So man, real men stand up and get your flowers right now. So everybody who has a strong man in their lives, let them know. Give them their flowers. What does that mean? Just saying I love you. Just grabbing your brother. And like Nick and I. Hey, I love you, Nick, because you are my brother. And I see the real man in you, that I would not have a problem having my sons follow you because you're a real man. So fathership, like Nick said, does not necessarily mean that you physically or biologically have children, but you still are a father figure. Do you understand? You still have responsibilities to be the example when these young men see you working in the community, see you serving the community. Don't use that as an excuse. So this weekend, pick up the phone, call that father figure, be it the pastor, be it the, boys and club leader who took you aside, be it that baseball coach, that football coach, that basketball coach. Give them their flowers so that we can show true manhood in America. Dr. Tony Evans wrote a great book about fatherhood that you guys can pick up. I can't remember the title right now, but if you just Google Dr. Tony Evans about fatherhood and manhood, it's a phenomenal book. I read it 3-4 times. I'm just having a senior moment right now. So right now, you have to embrace, because you can become the man you want to be if you don't have that man in your life, by reading, taking courses on fathership, having the ability to stand up, because the only thing that allows negative and evil to persist is for men to not be real men. Be that man in the ring, like Roosevelt says. The man in the ring, he gets knocked down, but he gets back up again and again and again and again and again and again and again. It's like Winston Churchill said, never, 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 never give up. And that's what we are applauding and celebrating today. Real men across the board, real men who are fathers to girls. You know how important it is for a girl to have a real man in her life? It's more important than a mother, because they see an example of respect, dignity, and honor. So for all the men who are fathering their daughters the right way, and shout out to the stepdads who stepped in and adopted a single parent daughters and children and became the man for them, the surrogate. Give praise and honor and, all the credit you can. And there's no amount of time you can spend with them. There's no amount of money that you can spend to reward them for providing leadership. Because one good man can change the world for multiple generations. And the question is, are you that man? Are you going to stand on your principles, or are you going to fold with what society tells you, the difference between a man and a woman physically, when you and I both know that the chromosomes are what they are? And we're not going to get onto that because we're going to keep this positive and uplifted. But again, I'm so excited for everybody out there who has a real man in their life. And if you don't have a real man in your life, again, call us, 866-395-3042. We'll be a surrogate to you too, because that's what it's all about. Happy Father's Day to those winners. We'll be right back after these break from our sponsors, and we're giving you an amazing Father's Day opportunity. I'm telling you, check this out. We're going to give you 2 master classes. Going to teach you about consumer debt freedom, teach you about building 800 credit scores, teach you how to pay off your house on a 30-year mortgage in 7 to 10 years. If you have a 15-year mortgage, how to pay it off in 5 to 7 years, how to become an $8,333 a month passive income earner through business, real estate, and leveraging the tax laws. We're going to give all that to you for Father's Day. What better thing to do than give the gift of 2 master classes, 2 consultations with yours truly and a member of the 7 Spheres of Money expert team for only $50. And you know what? I just went to the movies, Nick, and I took my children, and trust me, it cost me $100 to take my children to the movies, get some popcorn and stuff like that. So for $100, half of that, you can get your father, your uncle, your grandfather, a value that'll be priceless from generation to generation. So check out this word from our sponsors. We'll be right back, and we appreciate all the fathers. Happy Father's Day weekend. You earned it, Dad. Salute.
So this Father's Day goes out to my first year without the man who helped to make me the woman that I am today. I just want to say thank you to my father, who is also my uncle, David. You are the best man that I've ever known. Happy Father's Day, and I will miss you very, very much.
I just want to say happy Father's Day to my dad. I love you so much. Appreciate you for everything you do, and I hope you very much enjoy this holiday. You absolutely deserve it. I love you.
Happy Father's Day, Dad. Thank you for all of the valuable lessons.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is DJ, the Money Coach. As you just heard our team, we want to thank our fathers for being great fathers. We want to give you what's called the 2x2 for Father's Day. So happy Father's Day, Dad. Hit that link, and I'll see you in the master class. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is DJ, the Money Coach. In order to make the dream work, you got to have teamwork. In order to have the P.O.M lifestyle, to get what?
Clear money and peace of mind.
All right. We're back. We're back.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Hey, you know what? Let me give them some tips about fatherhood. Now I want to talk to the young men out there. I'm talking about men who are age 15 to 25. Okay? 15 to 25. First thing, let me teach you the 3 cardinal rules. The 3 cardinal rules, okay? Rule number 1, never mess with anybody's ego. What does that mean? Never clown somebody in public. I mean, you can play the dozens and stuff like that, but the person you playing the dozens with and signifying, they need to know that you're just playing in that venue. But on a regular tip, you don't fool somebody in public. That's messing with their ego. And the ego is an acronym for evil going on. Okay? So that's tip number 1 of the cardinal rule. Tip number 2, never mess with anybody's money. What does that mean? That means if Nick says, hey, DJ, you owe me $5. And I don't think I owe Nick $5, but just in case I did make a mistake, I give Nick the $5. If Nick does a job for me and it's X amount of dollars and I don't pay Nick, then that's messing with Nick's money. Always pay people on time and up front, and you'll never have problems. That's rule number 2 of the cardinal rules, young men. I'm talking to men 15 to 25. And then the third one is most important, Nick. Never mess with anybody's spouse or significant other. Never mess with anybody's spouse or significant other. Here's another rule for you, young men. Never be in a vehicle alone with a person of the opposite sex, meaning a biological woman. If she's not somebody that you are personally involved with, don't put yourself in a situation that any type of, innuendo, gossip could cause you a problem. So let me reiterate to you, young men, what the 3 cardinal rules are. Number 1, never mess with a man's ego. Number 2, never mess with a man's money. If a man, and I mean this in a generic sense, if a man or a woman does a job for you, pay them on time. If there's a small dispute about a couple of dollars, pay it to them. Number 3, never mess with a man's spouse or significant other. Never be alone in a room with yourself and a person of the opposite sex that you do not personally know, that people know you know this person and know what your relationship is. That will eliminate any challenges of you being caught up in an environment that you can be taught or claimed or accused of something false accurately. Let me give you a primary example, Nick. So my son was fortunate to go down to Tampa for real estate boot camp with Ericka Williams. Shout out to Ericka Williams. Shout out to Ericka Williams' dad. Shout out to Ericka Williams' grandfather. Shout out to her uncles, because she's an amazing person. And she obviously has had strong men and leadership in her life. So let me get back to the story. Last week, so my son goes down to the boot camp. He comes back home, right? He's excited and everything. So he goes back to school because he's a strong young man, taught by a real man. So he takes a bus. So while he's on the bus, Nick, unbeknownst to him, some strange lady asked him, can she stay at his place? Yeah. Wow. So my son, he immediately called me. Hey, Dad, I got a strange situation. What's the deal, son? This person just asked me, can they stay at my place because they have no place to stay? I said, number 1, absolutely no. Hell to the no. I don't even care if that person needed. I said, so what you can do for her if she sincerely had no place to go, which the odds are she did, because how would you pay a ticket on a bus and don't have a destination? So I said, if you really want to help her, son, I said, give her some money and be gone. And give her the money in public where everybody can see it and be gone. So what does that mean? That goes to rule number 3. Never mess with any spouse or significant. Here it is, a complete stranger probably trying to run game on my young son, or even if she did need help, my son does not need to put himself in a situation where he's got a lot to lose. Do y'all understand? So when I gave him advice, no, never, but if you do feel that she needs help, give her some money and keep it moving. You understand? So what you got to understand, young man, 15 to 25, if you have more to risk than the person that offer you the opportunity, i.e. a woman, attractive, throwing stuff at you, you have to have the power to say no and walk away, because there's nothing good could have came out of that. And even though she may have truly needed help, he gave her some money and kept it moving. You understand where I'm coming from? So these little tips, most people don't even get from folks. These little tips can save lives, eliminate allegations, and prevent you from being in harm's way. So shout out to my son that he had the wisdom to say, I've never been in a situation, but I'm a helpful person. Dad, what should I do? Does that make sense? So those are the 3 cardinal rules, okay? Let me give you some other tips in order to become a great father. So number 1, protect yourself at all times that you are engaging in premarital, intercourse. Because this Father's Day, and a lot of people have fathers out of wedlock. Okay? I'm going to be transparent with you. Guess what? I have participated, unfortunately, in abortion of a life. And it's the worst decision I ever made in my life. because I made a decision when I was in college that I was not going to let anything prevent me from being successful in my career. And I agreed with the young lady I was with. We both made a bad decision. So if you do find yourself not having safe, sex, because this is Father's Day, then you know what you should do? You should man up and handle your responsibilities. Or what you should also do, you should man up and don't let that woman not abort, and get the child adopted. That's what I was trying to say. Get the child adopted, okay? These are man decisions. But real men, because I wasn't a real man when I made that decision, because I was taught the wrong philosophy, and when I did it, I realized the pain that it caused me. So even when these days happen, I still think about, 28 years ago that I could have had another child, that I should have just man up and took care of the situation. Because guess what, Nick? What if my mom would have decided to abort me when she was a young teenager? Think about that. So if you are in a situation where, number one, you should be, putting that J to the I to the M to the M to the Y, is Jimmy. So go do the rest on old hip hop. Okay.
Yeah. So KRS-One right there.
Exactly. That's the first thing. So I'm talking to 15 to 25-year-olds, because you're going to put yourself in situations. You're an athlete. You're an influencer. Women are going to start gravitating around you, and you're going to want to naturally do what people do. So be responsible. Okay. Abraham Lincoln says, it can teach you what to do and what not to do by a good example and a bad example. So I was a bad example because I did the negative part. And then I became a good example when I decided there was never going to be, from that point, any more interaction without me having, marriage as part of my formula. So from a 15 to 25-year-old, what you should be focusing on is your purpose. And your purpose shouldn't be chasing tail. Okay? Now, I know y'all don't want to hear this, but this is the facts of being a real father, being a man. Okay? Not a male, not a simp. Okay? So from 15 to 25, put your head to the grind and grind. Figure out what it is you are called to do. Get a plan. Surround yourself with other wise men to actually mentor you. And then get that work done. Because here's the reality is the play is still going to be there. So what we make a mistake is, as young males, we think that we're never going to get old, and we waste our teens. We waste our 20s. And next thing you know, we look up, Nick, we're 30, we're 40, we're 50, and now we still not able to support our families. Okay? So I want you to realize what your purpose is, have the ability, and don't get caught up with the game of people who are actually inferior inside, that actually want to, put a slot on the belt and everything, and mark out how many bodies they bag. That's an immature, that's an insecure person, period. Because they're going to have major regret. Number one, they're going to put themselves in position for STDs. Number two, they're going to put themselves in position for aborting of life. And number three, they're going to continue to be on the seesaw and never do anything of value while they're out there doing that. So from 15 to 25, get your purpose. If your purpose is education, get your education. If your purpose is digital real estate, get your purpose. If your purpose is to do sports, participate in that. I'm not saying don't have fun. And if you find yourself in that situation, be prepared and responsible for that interaction. That means have protection at all times. And no means no. So when a young lady tells you no, back off and be a real man. Don't be no simp. Because I can rest to tell you, from one man to a simp, if I ever find that you try to step to somebody that is a woman or a girl or a teenager or a young female adult in my family, there won't be a court that can save your ass. Because I'll be judged by 12 than carried by 6, because I'm a real man. And you should have the same attitude when reference to your mother, respect. So, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. With your sister, treat your sister the way your mother deserves to be treated. And guess what? Naturally, you'll treat that lady that's important to you the same way. So just like Nick said, he saw his dad's tremendous work ethic, his tremendous manhood. So he saw that and he actually adopted that and incorporated it into his life. Because here's what we do naturally as boys and adult males who are not men. We actually follow society and we emulate their personalities and not their character or their lack of character. So that's what I want to share with you in the scope of manhood. Surround yourself with men who are sharp, who are value added, that you can see the fruit on the tree, that you can see when you turn around that they're real leaders, because they got a bunch of people lead. They're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But they purposely are living a purpose righteous life, and they're willing to be humble enough to actually share with you their errors and their mistakes. That's real men. Nothing wrong with a real man crying when it's actually something that's hurtful. Get it out. Don't go to bed with anger. Okay? So that's from 15 to 25. And again, if you don't have somebody that's a real man in your life, I don't even care if you're 75 and you need a real man. That's another tip. Don't be thinking my age does not allow me to be mentored by a younger guy. Shout out to Marcus Phillips. Shout out to JR. Shout out to Kurt. Shout out to Brandon Hutchison. Shout out to Brandon Jones. These are real men who are younger than me, and I allow them to mentor me because they're real men. There's a tip for you. There's a nugget. So back to you, Nick.
Yep. Man. Ooh, that was fire right there. There's a lot that you said that definitely resonated there. Talking about college, man. I would be remiss if I didn't shout out the Man Up program at Howard University. That was a community of professors, staff of the university, and friends of the university, of all men. We would meet once a month. We would sit in a circle, and we would talk. We would talk about what's going on. We would talk about how we're feeling, at the time. And the goal of that program was to help the male students, or to ensure the male students graduate and get their degree. So any obstacles that they had, whether it was academic or personal, those group of men were there to support us. So shout out to one of my academic advisors in the School of Communications, Link Brown. Shout out to my audio production professor, Reggie Miles. He's from Chi-Town also. Shout out to Jim Brown. Shout out to Greed. Shout out to any of the other men. Oh, I can't forget. Oh man, I'm about to Craig. Shout out to Craig, man. I almost forgot his name. Yeah, shout out to Craig. Another one of the professors over there. For being that support system while I was in college. And another thing about being responsible about engaging in intercourse is that young men 15 to 25, you also need to show discernment too about who you're choosing to engage with. Especially during that age, a lot of men during that age, a lot of boys and men at that age, they don't really care about who they're laying with, as long as they're laying with somebody. And that's the wrong way to go about it. Especially if you're a young man of influence, a star athlete, entrepreneur, business person, career man. If you have a lot of influence, you especially need to be careful about who you engage with, because some of these women are predators out there. So you not only want to be responsible, but you also want to have discernment about who you choose to engage with. So that's another thing that stood out to me from those lessons that you gave, DJ. And going back to those 3 cardinal rules, last week, we talked about pride a little bit. So you don't only want to follow these cardinal rules, to have integrity and be a man of higher standard. But I mentioned that it's attack of real manhood now, and a lot of men are acting out of emotion. So not following these cardinal rules can literally be, a life or death situation. There are boys and men out there that will kill over these 3 cardinal rules. We've seen it. We've seen it in the news. We've seen it, in recent events. So you want to protect. You're protecting yourself. You're not only showing integrity, but you're also protecting yourself by following these cardinal rules. Where a man will literally kill you over violating his ego, because those egos are fragile, amongst men who aren't real men. Same thing with a man's money or a man's spouse or significant other. You don't even have to do anything really heinous to a man's significant other. Some men are so emotional and jealous that if they even suspect you of engaging with their woman, they'll ask questions later. Just put it that way. They'll ask questions later and won't even think about the consequences in that moment. So be a man of integrity, but protect yourself also, and protect those who are around you also by following those 3 cardinal rules.
That's a great point that you made. Let me tell you what another thing that manhood is: having the ability to walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Having the ability to walk away. You know what? It's better for you to walk away and tell the story than sometimes man up. But here's what I mean: if you don't have the option to walk away, then protect yourself at all costs. But if you can walk away, I don't care what you may feel the shame. It's better to walk away to be alive the next day, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Because as Nick said, a lot of this is superficial. A lot of people who are cowardly, who carry guns and kill people indiscriminately, they're cowards, because without that weapon, they would never one-on-one confrontation somebody. Let me give you another real life story. Okay. So when I think I was like 19, I was 19 or 18 years of age. I was home for school in the summer. So we used to go to the movies. Back in the day, people work at the movie theaters and they get to hook up and let a couple of friends in, right? So during that time, I was coming through that single part of parenting with my mom before, my mom got remarried. So, being in the hood, you got to protect your own. So I was the type of guy, just like you said, somebody bumped into me, man, I was ready to throw them hands, right? So I'm in this movie theater and I can't remember what the movie was, but this guy bumped into me. And typically I would just have a knee-jerk reaction because I'm angry at the time, because I didn't have that father figure in my life at the point in time. So I'm just trying to take out my anger on everybody. But this guy bumps into me at the movie theater and something just told me, hey, man, don't jump on this cat. So I walked, kept going what I was doing. And probably about 30 minutes later, Nick, I had to go to the restroom. And I'm in the restroom and this same guy's in the restroom with 2 other guys. This guy pulls out a Glock. Now, he doesn't remember bumping into me, but he pulled out the Glock, said that, hey, man, I'm about to shoot up the next person that says anything to me. And I just thought right there, I said, man, God intervened, because this kid who was younger than me and smaller would have put me in a box. So what I'm saying to you is, don't think that you are being manly when you are countered with confrontation. It's better to walk away and save it for another day. Okay? So that's manhood. So you will understand what I'm talking about. So if you're with a woman and somebody jeopardizes that woman's livelihood and ain't nothing you can do, then you man up physically and you handle business. But if you can walk away, you walk away. Because here's the reality. You have to think to yourself, who has more to lose in this scenario? That confrontation, adversary, or me and my people? And if it's me and my people and I can walk away, you've actually done the man thing. Okay? That'll be counterintuitive to the, testosterone and your boys hyping you up. But in all actuality, that is the wisest move to make. Okay? And especially in the ages of 15 to 25. Another tip for you. And again, I'm not trying to take away you're enjoying life, all I'm going to say to you, nothing great happens after 1 o'clock in the morning. What do I mean by that? Most trouble happens after 1 a.m. when it comes to Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. How do we know? Look at the statistics. You can pick up the paper, jump on ESPN, and every time some athlete dies or kills somebody or gets in a reckless, happenstance, what time of the day is it? 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to have the wisdom, again, have good time, know when to shut it down, be responsible. Don't get behind the wheel drinking and driving. Get an Uber, pass the keys to somebody else, have a designated driver. These are the things that you may think that are obvious, but as I tell people all the time, if you ain't applying it daily in your life, it's not a habit. So again, you're going to be disciplined by your habits. You're a slave to your habit. Be it good habits or bad habits, you are a slave to it. So you know what you should do? Start practicing, become a slave to good habits. So let me give you 2 books that you should pick up to become a real man. One book is called The Go-Getter. The Go-Getter. I don't remember who it's written by, but it's a little small story, maybe about 50 pages, young men. And this is for older males who are not become men. Pick up this book, The Go-Getter, and the guy has a task of getting this blue vase. Okay? I want you to pick that up. And then I want you to get The Servanthood Leader. The Servanthood Leader. Okay? Because this is a celebration. And when you start looking at the people who have the principles, that you emulate the principles, not the personality, the men that you study from afar, that you admire, they're applying these principles of leadership as real men, and you can do the exact same thing. The exact same thing. And there's no such thing that people can't change. There's 3 reasons why people change, okay, from a manship. Number 1, they change because times are so desperate, it requires them to make a change. They change too from an intellectual aspect, Nick, where they read a lot of books and they intellectualize change, and change occurs. Mm-hmm. But the best change is inspiration. Because those first 2, you have a tendency to go back to your old bad habits. But when you are inspired and you lift it up, it changes you, just like receiving the gospel to your soul. You're no longer that old person. Those are the 3 reasons why people change, Nick. Number 1, because the pain is so great, they don't have a choice but to change, or it's dead. Number 2, they read a lot. They infuse and engraft their souls with education. Thus, they realize that this just don't make sense to do knucklehead things. But if they don't enforce that with great new habits, they will go back to it, just like a drug head, just like an alcoholic. But the best way to change young men, 15 to 25, and even males who are not men, is through pure inspiration. And if you don't have those 3, I would encourage you to pray on it. Pick up Proverbs and every day of the week. Read 1 proverb and incorporate it into your life. And then you'll become the man that God meant you to be. Even if you don't have that physical man presence, you'll become that man. And that way you'll take away all excuses. So again, if I can promise and want anything for you, it's for you to have good health. But you need to have challenges to actually mold you into the man that God meant you to be. And you should expect that you're going to grow and become a different person every 5 years if you're applying the principles of success in your life. And that's really what Father's Day weekend is about. But at the end of the day, sing praise, love on those real men, take them out to dinner, give them their time, let them know that you appreciate them standing in the gap for you to become the man God meant you to be. That's what Father's Day is all about, man, at the end of the day. And be grateful for every opportunity you have. And let me share this last nugget with you. If you are on the right path and Satan is not bothering you, you're not on the right path. What do I mean? Because this is his domain. All those who are trapped in his domain that he's already won, he don't pursue you. But if you're on the real right path, you should expect as a leader that things are going to happen that are unexplainable because you're now going in the right direction and now he's got to capture your soul. So if you're doing the right work, don't look for praise, but expect the adversary to throw you a curveball. And if you expect it, you can handle it. They say 98% of character is reacting to things that happen in the right way. So when things go right, everybody's on your side. But when there's challenges, that's when your real character shows up. Another thing, money only does this to men. If you are a good person, money makes you great. If you're a bad person, money makes you evil. It just magnifies what you already are. So when you see people spinning out of control, it ain't the money, baby. It's the character. When you see people getting better that came from nothing, and as they rose up and they start doing amazing things, because they already had the character. And guess what? They can change too. So always surround yourself with 3 people in your life. Okay? Number 1, a godship leader. And study the principles that they emulate, not the personality. Number 2, a leader. And number 3, if you are in business, follow a successful business person. You got that? These are very important for you to become a real man, a real leader, and a real father that will impact generations to come. I know the fruit on my tree is good because I got a deliberate purpose. But the fruit on my tree wasn't good 28 years ago. And I could have used that as an excuse by being, a child of a single parent for a period of time, but I didn't. I held myself accountable as I realized I was making stupid mistakes, and I desired to be better. So strive to be a little bit better every day, and don't let perfect be the enemy of great. Again, shout out, salute to all the real men in America, all the real black men, all the real white men, all the real Asian men, all the real Hispanic men, all the Middle Eastern men. Shout out, because here's the thing, Nick. If all men had purpose, there will be no wars. There will be no greed. So I pray and wish that that man who's going in the wrong direction finds inner peace so that there can be external peace and we can eliminate the cowards that take from us in society. Because at the end of the day, if you got feet on the ground, 10 toes in America, you're an American. And we got to learn to love and respect each other. So strive for respect, not like. I'm going to say that again. Strive for respect and not like, and everything will work out well for you.
There you have it. There you have it. So on that note, we go to this last break, man, and then close this thing out.
Sounds like a plan. We'll be right back. And remember, like, share, and subscribe to this amazing Nick Knowledge and Notions for Father's Day. Shout out to all the fathers. We'll be right back.
So this Father's Day goes out to my first year without the man who helped to make me the woman that I am today. I just want to say thank you to my father, who is also my uncle, David. You are the best man that I've ever known. Happy Father's Day, and I will miss you very, very much.
I just want to say happy Father's Day to my dad. I love you so much. Appreciate you for everything you do, and I hope you very much enjoy this holiday. You absolutely deserve it. I love you.
Happy Father's Day, Dad. Thank you for all of the valuable lessons.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's DJ, the Money Coach. As you just heard our team, we want to thank our fathers for being great fathers. And we want to give you what's called the 2x2 for Father's Day. So happy Father's Day, Dad. Hit that link, and I'll see you in the master class.
Toledo Organic Tequila is so crisp, so incredibly smooth. It's simply in a category by itself. This is luxury. Life tastes better naturally, so should your tequila. This is Toledo. Enjoy responsibly. Visit ToledoTequila.com to get your bottle of Toledo Organic Tequila. Get a 10% discount on DJ the Money Coach by entering promo code MONEY at checkout. Again, that's ToledoTequila.com, promo code MONEY to get 10% off your Toledo purchase.
Hey. Welcome back. So, again, we want to give a shout out to all the fathers, all the grandfathers, all the uncles, all the godfathers, all the elders, all the real pastors in America, because you deserve to have your flowers for putting that work in, for not needing a tap on the shoulder or somebody to sing your praise from the mountaintops. Because guess what? Men, when you do what men's supposed to do, you don't need anybody to acknowledge that, because that's your job. That's your responsibility. Okay? We need to get away from all of this chasing fame and vanity. Okay? When a man does his job, he goes out and works and fixes the repairs and mentors other young boys to menship. He don't need a pat on the back, because that's his responsibility. Do your job. Okay? So this is a shout out to the men who did their job and didn't need to have somebody to praise them and put them on Instagram and YouTube and all that stuff. That ain't real. What's real is when your son tells you he loves you, when your daughter says, I love you, daddy, and they come up and hug you every day. Another thing I'm going to tell you, real strong men, ain't nothing wrong with hugging your children. Ain't nothing wrong with telling your children you love them. Trust me, that was an old generation. Nowadays, love on your children, because somebody else will love them for you.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be the wrong person. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So take that tip home. I had to figure that out. So I'm going to give a couple more shout outs. So shout out to Dr. J.C. Baker. You know, great guy. Shout out to Big E. He knows who I'm talking about. Shout out to Gerald Brooks. Shout out to Clarence. You know, shout out to Tony. You know, just shout out to Dwayne Walker. Some other sharp people. Shout out to my boy E. Troy. These are strong people. Shout out to Keith. Shout out to Carl. Shout out to Anthony. These are great people. You know, so shout out to Marshall. Shout out to Bill Minix. Leadership. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Tommy. Shout out to Willie. Shout out to Courtney. These are great men. Shout out to Larry Blackman. Shout out to Mike Ellison. Shout out to Sean Hale, Terry Williams. Shout out to Ron Harris, the real OG. Shout out to Rick Polson. So these are a lot of great people that we just want to let you know that we appreciate you. Shout out to Johnny Sellers and Javon. Shout out to Kurt Miller. Shout out to Tarzay. Shout out to Al Boucher. So these are just some of the people. And if I missed your name, I apologize, but we can't remember everybody. But you know deep down who you are, what you meant to us, how you mentored us through those three spheres of importanteship: Godship, leadership, and businessship. Thank goodness that God sent you in our pathway to teach us how to be real men by emulating principles of success instead of personalities. And I also want to say shout out to Russell Wilson, because Russell Wilson is a real man. And I'm tired of hearing, you know, these corny, dumb, insecure people talking about he's corny. No, he's a real man. When a man can take another man's child and raise them up and get the woman right off them streets, that's a real man. Shout out to Russell Wilson. Real talk. I don't praise any athletes, but that's a man of character. Okay? Shout out. So that's all I got, man. We got a hard 60. Yo show, Nick's Knowledge and Notion. Shout out to the awesome Nick Westbrooks for being a man and a leader on our team and showing the way to bring DJ the Money Coach to life. We couldn't do it without you, brother. I love you. I'm always be in your corner. I'm always at your back. And ain't nothing better than have a wingman like Nick Westbrooks. Shout out to you, brother.
Appreciate it. Shout out to you too, DJ. I love you too, brother. And before we close out, why don't you tell them about the pledge to the P.O.M movement, because we got that available to the people. So tell them about that, and then we'll close it out.
Yeah. So you know what, ladies and gentlemen, you know this is a movement. The P.O.M lifestyle, plenty of money, peace of mind. Really, all it is being 100% you. So you don't have to change your narrative because somebody pushes a narrative on you that you know ain't right. So it's a movement. So we're going to ask you to pledge to the P.O.M movement. What will that help us do? It helps us keep the lights on. That helps us take care of Nick Westbrooks, take care of Kadera, take care of DJ, take care of Dom, take care of the virtual assistants to bring you this gospel of the truth. So if you feel compelled, because we've had people try to send us money on Cash App and Patreon, I don't support those platforms. You know why, ladies and gentlemen? Because we build our own platform. So this movement needs your support if you're about this movement. So if you're about this movement and you want that pom-pom lifestyle to be 100% you and not a second-rate him or her, support and pledge to the P.O.M movement. And when you support and pledge to the P.O.M movement, we're going to give you an amazing gift of gratitude, because this movement is time is now, and a rising tide raises all ships. And guess what? The P.O.M movement is your movement if you are about real men, real women, peace of mind, plenty of money, character, and making America what America is meant to be. Then join this movement of the P.O.M lifestyle. You deserve to have it, and we deserve to fight that fight for you 24/7, 365. I love you guys, and guess what? We are our own ancestors. Shout out to Dr. Carr as well. So join the movement of the P.O.M movement. All you got to do is pledge in the link below, because it's about bringing you high quality, high character content that you can actually have for generations to come, for manhood, womanhood, to raise our children right. That's what it's about, Nick.
Yep, that's right. So like DJ said, the link to pledge to the P.O.M movement is in the description. We also have that Father's Day special. Get your father or that father figure something of value that they can use. That 2x2 package, that link is in there as well. If you want to travel to Zanzibar with us, there's only a couple more slots left. So if you want to get in on that trip in August, the link to put that deposit down is in the description as well as to get, one of these limited edition fire P.O.M lifestyle t-shirts. That's in the link. That's in the description as well. So,
absolutely. Hey, you know what? Shout out to our man Chris. We got your email, brother. Welcome to the Zanzibar team. Shout out to Dr. James. Welcome to the Zanzibar team as well. Shout out to Arnett and Jeanette. Welcome to the Zanzibar team. Hey, shout out to everybody who has become part of this movement in any shape, size, or form. Be it you got a bundle to get your stuff right, you became an all-star to get your house in order, you became an executive to get participation to helping your business grow, or if you just decide to pledge to help us keep the lights on. Shout out to everybody. We appreciate everybody who contribute. If you contribute $1 to yourself, or you contribute a couple of thousand to the Zanzibar investment, we appreciate everybody, and we appreciate. Shout out to Diane. And Diane, I'm going to be giving you a call, and I want, again, a real man, I want to apologize to those who I have had more, meetings than I planned, and some emergencies came up. I purposely have not decided not to serve you. I have just got busy, but I make no excuses. So I'm going to stand up and be a righteous man, and I'm going to do what's right for you and your family, because that's what the P.O.M lifestyle is all about. So I appreciate your patience, and I will be in touch with each and every one of you to make sure you are getting what you deserve, and make sure that you are valued, because without you, there is no us. And we want you to come join us on the beaches of the World Club. That's plenty of money, peace of mind, and join us in Zanzibar. I'm DJ the Money Coach on behalf of Nick and Nick's Knowledge and Notions. Shout out to all the fathers on Father's Day weekend, and make sure you give a great gift, because the masterclass will give you consumer debt freedom, 800 credit score, pay off your home in 7 to 10 years, and create $8,333 a month in passive income, because shout out to Karan, who actually made that happen for us with Chase as our sponsor. So come to the next masterclass, see Chase make an impact in your life with DJ the Money Coach, and let's make the best you can be starting right now today. God bless, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Good night, everybody. Have a great Father's Day weekend.
So this Father's Day goes out to my first year without the man who helped to make me the woman that I am today. I just want to say thank you to my father, who is also my uncle, David, you are the best man that I've ever known. Happy Father's Day, and I will miss you very, very much.
I just want to say Happy Father's Day to my dad. I love you so much. Appreciate you for everything you do, and I hope you very much enjoy this holiday. You absolutely deserve it. I love you.
Happy Father's Day, Dad. Thank you for all of the valuable lessons.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's DJ, the Money Coach. As you just heard our team, we want to thank our fathers for being great fathers. We want to give you what's called the 2x2 for Father's Day. So happy Father's Day, Dad. Hit that link, and I'll see you in the master class. Hey, what's happening, everybody? This is DJ and DJ. We're about to bring you the most expensive, best trip at the Walmart price you can ever imagine in Zanzibar. Ain't that right, D?
That's right, DJ. I am cordially inviting you to our Zanzibar trip. 8 days, 7 nights in the best destination of the world. And you can actually look that up. So we will be going to Zanzibar for 8 days and 7 nights. It is going to be amazing fun. We are going to have excursions. We're going to visit the properties. We are going to go to the beaches. We're going to eat some wonderful food. And we would like to invite you to join us on our trip beginning August 21st in Zanzibar, Tanzania. And it's 8 days and 7 nights. Hit the link below to join us now.
Limited edition, new P.O.M lifestyle t-shirts. Plenty of money, peace of mind, and passionate pink for you two ladies. Limited supply. Hit that link, get yours now, and join us on the Beaches of the World Club.
What's up, everybody? This is DJ, the Money Coach, coming at you. Hey, I'm here in beautiful Zanzibar. That's right. Beautiful Zanzibar. I'm on the white sand beaches. In the Indian Ocean, baby. That's right. That's right. We live in the lifestyle, the P.O.M lifestyle. Plenty of money, peace of mind. So tell you what, it only takes 4 dirty little words to get everything you want in this world. Number 1 is discipline. Number 2 is accountability. Number 3 is plug into a proven system. That's the 7 spheres of money. And then number 4 is work. That's all you got to do. Hit that link right now. You can get the ABCs of wealth and the Zanzibar trip information from us. And the masterclass, we're going to hold an amazing masterclass talking to you about the P.O.M lifestyle and all the things that are upcoming. You don't want to miss this, trust me. We now at Kendra Rocks Beach and Zanzibar, baby. Check it out. Check it out, baby. Check it out. Look at that. 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 Hey, you deserve to be here, baby. You deserve to be here. What's happening, everybody? This is DJ, the Money Coach, coming to you live again in another awesome place called Kai Beach. And this is in Zanzibar, baby. Check it. So out there, you can see those are hotels out there, right out on the ocean, baby. Check it out. The love sign. Right there. That's right. Hey, it's DJ the Money Coach. And this is Chuck Coach. We making it happen right here, Mr. Kite. That's right, baby. And they're gonna put the sign here, DJ Money Coach Chicago in the house.
You be right here,
Right here.
right now.
Y'all got to come here for everything. Seafood, water sports, and great hospitality. Hakuna Matata.
All night.
Guys, this is the best box I've ever been. Don't just Mr. Tight restaurant right on the beach of my day. Right now, the place where I'm understand it. It's on the tight side.
What's happening, guys? We're over here at Homage for the CPS development that we're actually going to be buying a couple of units here. And they're having what's called Market Day, man. This is awesome. Check it out, everybody. Right there, right ahead, far ahead. That is the Indian Ocean right there, guys. That's the Indian Ocean right there. It's going to be an amazing development, man. And you want to invest over there, trust me. It's going to be better than you ever can imagine. So you need to check it out. This is what it's going to look like. This is what we're talking about right here, Homage. So this is what we're investing in, guys, right here. And guess what? You can invest with us too. Oh, it's gonna be a bunk bed type deal. On the other unit, you have the suites. So you guys see that? You can see the Indian Ocean from here. So that'll be a great aesthetic value.
But Chase is committed. Advancing Black Pathways is committed, and I'm committed to helping the Black community, get those necessary resources. So again, congratulations on your two-year anniversary. Congratulations to all the work that you've been doing in the communities, and we're looking forward to partnering with you to help close this racial wealth gap.
We just had our first session with DJ, the money coach, and it was a very informative session. In which I am glad that we are participating in. It gives us an opportunity to be good stewards of our resources, the monies in which we have been working our lives for, in a sense.
So I was quite enthused about how we can retrieve money back that we had paid in on a mortgage.
And the process to get them solved as quickly as possible. So step number one, you got to figure out what's taking your time, right? A lot of people come to me with all of these issues, but you don't really know. You're like, oh, I kind of need a system. I feel like I'm overwhelmed, but you don't really know what's really taking up your time. I really suggest this is personally what I do on a regular basis. I look at what I did for the day and what should I not have been doing. Right? You can easily write this out in a journal. What are the things that you got done during the day? And then you're going to look at that and you're going to audit yourself. What are these things that you shouldn't be doing? And what are these things that you should be doing? Something that maybe you should be doing is figuring out how you're going to get into Zanzibar with us in August, right?
We want to wish you a P.O.M lifestyle. That's plenty of money and peace of mind. We want you to come join us on the Beaches of the World Club